Have you ever wondered what programming language our boy Tony Stark used to build his Iron Man suits, JARVIS, these insane holographic computers, and also a freaking time machine and dummy? Like, was it C++ or C or Java or Python or, God forbid,
assembly?
Because I need to know what language was responsible for this man building this insane stuff, and I think so I found a clue. While recently watching the Iron Man movie, I got a hint on what programming language Tony Stark might have been using. For that, we need to go to Tony's early life, because this guy wasn't originally a full-time software developer. He was much more of a hardware, mechanical, and electronics genius. In Iron Man, we were told Tony built his first circuit board at only the mature age of 4. And he graduated from MIT at 17. Crazy, because when I was 17, I was watching Pokemon. I was watching Pokemon. Tony eventually went to MIT as a teenager, and that actually gives us our first clue. Tony was born in 1970, so we are roughly talking about the 1980s for his MIT years. And this immediately kills one popular answer: Python. Python wasn't even around yet, kids. Its first release came in 1991. Java in 1995, which is crazy because it's younger than Python. And that eliminates a bunch of other modern languages as well. The more interesting candidates for Tony's era are C and C++, and also COBOL, Fortran, not Fortnite kids, Pascal, Basic, and if Tony really hated himself, then assembly. COBOL was huge for business and mainframe systems. Fortran was heavily used for scientific and engineering work. And then assembly. It gave you painful direct control over hardware. Painful, remember that. But imagine Tony building JARVIS in COBOL. JARVIS, activate the Iron Man suit.
Sir, identification division?
What the f? But C was already the god. Used in hardware-heavy stuff like your aeroplanes, NASA rockets, cars, and C++ emerged in the early 1980s. And that actually makes sense for Tony, because remember what this guy was building, not websites, not some shitty to-do app. Things where software has to talk to actual physical hardware. For Tony's kind of hardware-heavy engineering, C++ is still a much more believable guess. And one more horrific possibility: assembly. But as we know, Tony wasn't psychotic, so probably not. But this is all just an educated guess, because Marvel never actually tells us. I guess because they're not free code camp.
I am Iron Man.
There is no scene in the MCU where Tony asks JARVIS compile the C++ code. Nothing. Except, do you guys remember this scene? Building Mark 1 inside cave? Where Tony was doing some nerdy yapping.
11. Press Control I, and enter.
If you pay close attention and pause the movie, there is this scene where you can see some line of code. I know it looks gibberish, which it is, but if you look closely, it kinda looks like C++, if statement. And even the comments are in C style. So to confirm my doubts, I also asked ChatGPT and Claude. And they also said, yes boss. So most probably it's C. Now C, here's the thing. Because Tony's inventions are so complex, the program cannot be written in one language. Something like the Iron Man suit would probably need completely different layers of software. Low-level hardware control, sensor, flight systems, computer vision, AI, voice recognition, targeting, etc, etc. But then, everything changes once Tony adds consciousness to JARVIS. And this was the exact moment when our boy Tony invented vibe coding before vibe coding was a thing. Because once Tony puts that consciousness into JARVIS, he stopped writing normal software. He was building army of robots, nanotech, then smart AI glasses that Zuckerberg copied. Have some shame, Zuck. then a freaking time machine. And honestly, this may be the most powerful form of vibe coding ever created. On that note, if you want this cool looking handmade, handful, handjob, great job, Tony Stark vibe coder poster, you can get this in my coffee page for less than a pack of chewing gum. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Link is in the description. But here's the thing. Tony becoming this ridiculous software inventor is actually what makes this original question so interesting. Because in what programming language can you do all this insane stuff? We don't know for sure, and we probably never will. Whether he was a C++ guy, a C guy,
An assembly psychopath?
or wrote everything in some insane language he invented himself. I mean, could be he was a genius after all. But if we are making the most educated guess, C++ makes the hell out of sense. Sorry, Python devs. Tony Stark didn't have that much time waiting for his code to interpret because he was fighting aliens. God damn it. But there is one thing I know for sure. Tony Stark was probably the first person to vibe code. And he was the best. Oh, sorry, fellow vibe coders. So on that note, see you next week if aliens don't attack. Bye.